guys, today we will be installing a aftermarket LED on our 2019 Royal Enfield Himalayan. If you guys own one of these, you know that the Himalaya does not have the brightest stock headlights. They're really dim, settings really far off, so we decided to go with a upgrade. It's a Chinese upgrade, it's about 60 bucks. Here is what the new headlight is going to look like. So this is our old stock one. I'm going to go ahead and turn the bike on so that way you guys can see what the stock headlight looks like. Okay, this is our stock headlight, as you can see over in the corner there. The low beam, this is the low beam, this is the high beam. It sits very high. That's low beam, it's not very bright. You guys will see what the upgrade looks like. Okay, so the first thing you'll need to do is take your key out so you don't accidentally have the bike running. And we're going to go ahead and remove these two screws from the side of the bezel. One's right here, one's right here. They're Phillips number 2. I'm going to go ahead and remove those real quick. Okay, bezel slips down and out. You have two plugs. Red plug. Push the red plug in. Slips the little plug out. You have this back plug. This plug is a bit of a pain. I just pull it. If not, you can take a flathead screwdriver and pry from underneath and pop it out. Okay, this is the stock bezel. We're going to go ahead and have to take these retaining clips out of the bezel so we can put our new light inside here and reinstall the retaining clip. So this is your light. This is the bezel, this is the retaining clip. You go ahead and take the retaining clip with a flathead screwdriver and you pop it out just like that. Put your hand on there so that way they don't go out flying. You have 5 of these. Pull out all 5. Replace the new headlamp. Alright, so once you've removed all your retaining clips, you have to lift towards this block out this way. You're going to have to bend this clip just a little bit. It is going to scratch the bezel on the actual light a little bit, but now your bezel is free from your existing light. Okay, so the orientation of the bottom of the bezel, this is your bottom. You're going to want to go ahead and orientate the dot SAE at the top of your bezel. This bezel is a lot smaller, fits right in, fits perfect. All you have to do is put it in. Now all we have to do is install our retaining clips. Okay, so when you're reinstalling your retaining clips, you want to leave the retaining clips tied into one of the surfaces, the multiple surfaces you have. That way it doesn't allow the rotation of the light. We want to keep this SAE DOT towards the top, which is where we have it centered now. So we chose our clips right here where our limited space is. My last clip, I'm going to go ahead and put it right here. We are very limited on the space. These specific clips, you go ahead and install the bottom, push it down, then you take your flathead screwdriver, put it on the other end right here, twist it in, and it is now in place and retaining. So our new headlight has a halo. We want to use that halo feature. They fortunately do have a running daylight, so we don't have to do anything to modify it. What we're going to do is, since we know we're not going to use the existing running daylight, I'm going to go ahead and cut the connector off. Butt connector, my end to my halo end right there. That way our factory plugs plug right in. If we ever have to service it, we don't have to make any disconnections because it already is on a connector. So after you're finished cutting your connector off, go ahead and cut your negative wire. You don't need that. It's already connected on the headlight. Take your butt connector, strip wire back, shove your butt connector in, take crimpers, crimp your butt connector. Okay, test your connection, nice and solid. From here, we will go to this side, do the exact same process. I'm going to go ahead and cut back this wire as close as I can. Get rid of my old connection. Strip the wire back. Twist my connection. Go ahead and put my butt connector in there to hold my new. Go ahead and crimp it, and then test my connection. My connection is strong and my new connector is ready to be plugged in. Okay, so now we're going to take our keys. We're going to go ahead and insert it in the ignition so that way when we test, we don't want to put anything on without test fitting. I'm going to go ahead and plug it in temporarily just to test fit, just to make sure that everything works perfectly fine as intended. Go ahead and plug it in. We'll turn our ignition on. See, we got our light. We have our halo. We'll test our high beam. Our high beam is working. Looks like the light is working proper. Now we go ahead and pull the ignition off and then make our final connection. So we've made our final connection. We've checked it to make sure it's all secure and strong. Everything looks good. You go ahead and move your wires out of the way. You will notice that the set right here and this right here, this little set piece, has to be up at a sort of an angle. You put that in first. Make sure that you are in there. Get your connection. And then slip it into place. Now it is secured. Now all we have to do is take our bolts. If you're using an impact like me, go slow. You don't need to break it. One little click is good enough. Second one, everything is perfectly fine. Now we're going to go ahead and test our light again before we put all of our tools away, because we want to make sure it works. Okay, so testing the connection, everything's secure. Give it a couple taps, make sure we don't got no loose connections. Test our high beam. High beam looks good, low beam looks good. Everything is working properly. Okay, so let's go ahead and turn the light on. See how significantly brighter it is? You got a way better beam pattern. That's our low light. Let's go ahead and turn our high beam on. High beam is more towards the center. You don't really see it as much as you do the side, but you do see that you get a better beam spread from the bike. High beam, low beam, looks way better. Alright guys, in my opinion, this is honestly one of the best upgrades you can do, lighting. That way you're driving out at night, you'll be seen. This bike isn't the loudest bike, but when they see you, they know you're coming. We'll put a link in the description. The light was only $69. Very good price for what you get from the light. Everything worked good. Took us maybe 15 minutes to install, including the modification of the halo ring. And I'm very happy with the output of the light. Thank you. Have a good day.